woke up, reaching out instantly to the empty space beside you. Your hand made the good sheet, confirming thing was already gone. You hadn't even reached for your phone when it started ringing. You answered immediately. Winter hurried and slightly stressed. Wine, you need to come in immediately. Can you make it quickly? Wine, yes madam, what is the urgency? Winter, I will explain when you get here. The line disconnected. You were perplexed but immediately felt a rush of adrenaline. You quickly dressed. Coco wasn't there, probably downstairs already. You didn't wait and hurried out of the room. He was into his office, atmosphere immediately rocking several degrees. Employees scrambled to read PC, still reading from yesterday's toilet. As Taehyungff headed toward his room, he nearly brushed past his father, who was walking in the opposite direction, then avoided eye contact entirely, walking past him as if he were invisible. Mr. Kim saw his face tightening with fury at the blatant disrespect. Mr. Kim quoted Joseph appearing instantly. Yes, President. Mr. Kim, tell Taehyungff to come to my office now. He strode into his room, leaving Joseph to read the unwelcome message. Joseph found Taehyungff already seated at his desk, roaring, Joseph, the president is requesting your presence in his office, sir. Taehyungff annoyed. For what reason, Joseph? He did not specify, but he said it was urgent. Taehyungff, fine, tell him I'm coming. Taehyungff was annoyed, wondering what new form of torture his father had devised this morning. He walked down the hall and stopped outside his father's door. Hearing the murmur of voices inside, he knocked, and Mr. Kim's voice commanded him in. The office looked the same, but files were spread across the desk. Taehyungff, you called for me? Mr. Kim, I called you to talk about work. I haven't seen any growth in the company over the last few days. What exactly have you been doing? Taehyungff had no defense. He had been too consumed by his personal anger to focus. Mr. Kim, I want to see the performance indicators turn around in 1 week. Do you understand? 1 week. Taehyungff stammering, but in 1 week it's impossible to do a complete turnaround. Mr. Kim leaned forward, cutting him off with a predatory gleam in his eyes. Mr. Kim, it is possible. I never accepted failure when I was in your position. A huge opportunity is coming up soon. A major fashion show. I expect you to lead the team, manage the design process, and ensure we take the #1 position. No mistake. If you fail, I don't want to see you in this office again. Taehyungff stood speechless, realizing his father had set an impossible trap to test or eliminate him. Taehyungff, I understand. I will try. Mr. Kim, a sinister smile. I don't need try, Tae. I need results from your team. Till you resign, do whatever it takes, win. Turned and walked out, his mind racing. The shock and rage was replaced by a desperate, frantic need to succeed. His father had upped the stakes, and now Taehyungg's entire empire was on the line. He barely noticed Joseph watching him with a mixture of pity and fear. Mr. Kim sighed softly to himself. The humiliation was working. Now the boy would fight. And Coco arrived at the boutique. Coco was acting strangely today, running ahead and then circling back, as if sensing an impending change. You found your way to your usual workplace, but before you could sit, a co-worker stopped you, girl. Why, there is no space here today. One confused, but this is where I usually sit. Where is Jessica? At that moment, Jessica, one of her assistants, approached you, her face filled with worry. Jessica, when Madam Winter is asking for you, go to her office. When your heart sinking, Jessica, what happened? Jessica, averting your gaze. I am not entirely sure why. You need to go and see her. You felt a creeping dread. The room was unusually crowded, with unfamiliar faces and machines. Taking a deep breath, you let go of guide you through the cramped workspace to Madam Winter's office. Madam Winter motioned for you to sit, her expression unusually grim. Why, is something wrong, Madam? Winter hesitated, fiddling with a pen on her desk. Winter, why, this is difficult. The truth is, we won't be able to keep you on staff anymore. You felt the floor beneath you. You crushed Coco's harness. Why, this very heavy in her voice. But madam, I have been performing my duties correctly. Is there a complaint? Winter, no dear, you are exceptionally talented, but we have just secured a massive, time-sensitive contract. We're under immense pressure to deliver quickly. You see, having staff assist you to take a valuable time, and right now, time is our most precious commodity. We can't afford any bottlenecks. She avoided your eyes. Please don't take this personally, Wine. If things slow down, I would absolutely welcome you back, but for now, the long-awaited job, the dream you had fought so hard for, was snatched away for being too slow. You felt the bitter sting of rejection. Coco, sensing the crushing sadness radiating from you, let out a sharp, protecting bark directed at Winter, while standing, pulling Coco. It's alright, Coco, let's go. You turned and left the office, your dignity intact, even though your heart was stuttering. The driver was waiting outside. Driver, madam, you are back so soon? While managing a steady voice. Yes, it was finished quickly. You got into the car, pulling Coco in beside you. Driver uncle, could you please take me to the Han River anywhere by the water? Driver concerned, of course, madam. Short while later, the car stopped. You stepped out, Coco immediately guiding you. You could feel the damp, cool air and hear the constant, soothing rush of the river water. It was the sound of something vast and indifferent to your pain. A comforting sound. Why to Coco? Coco, find us somewhere to sit. Lead you to a quiet, solitary bench. You settled down, the gentle breeze washing over your face. The driver stood at a respectful distance, keeping watch. Sat in silence, listening. The river's relentless current seemed to carry away all the suffocating pressure you felt. Your small dreams were crumbling one by one. The kimono felt like a fortress built not just around you but over your spirit. Coco, unusually playful, sense your despair. The dog instantly climbed onto your lap and nestled there. A warm, soft wave. You stroked its head, tears finally seeping sanity from your sightless eyes, blending with the river sound. After a long time, the cold began to seep into your bones. You had to return to the cold house. Calling out softly, Uncle, it's time to go home. Driver immediately. Yes, madam, this way, please. You, with Coco's help, get back into the car, heading back towards the kimono. The Kim offices were a chaotic hive of activity. Employees were desperately trying to meet the impossible deadline set by Taehyungff. meted the air. Everyone was fighting to save their job. Employee 1 whispering terrified, I think my job is gone today. Employee 3, I don't know about yours, but mine certainly is. My brain has completely shut down. Scoffing, be serious. None of our jobs are safe. He is going to fire all of us. Their nervous chatter died instantly as Taehyungff appeared, moving through the office like a whirlwind. He was their hurried, panicked effort, driven by the absolute need to suppress his father's expectation. A while later, Taehyungff called his assistant, Taehyungff, Subin, tell everyone to present their work. Now we are having a meeting. Subin nodding quickly. Yes, sir. I will inform them right away. Taehyungff walked to the conference room. Remained frozen in confusion. Taehyungff to Subin, get my car ready. I am going home. Subin didn't need a second instructions. He bolted out to arrest the vehicle. It was evening when Taehyungff arrived at the manor. The house was quiet, giving him a false sense of peace. He saw no sign of Joseph or the evening staff. Jessie rushed over to greet him. Jessie, young master, you are home early to dine. Taehyungff, bring my dinner to my home office now. Jessie, yes, young master. As he passed the corner of the foyer, he saw Coco sitting quietly. The door immediately dropped his head, avoiding eye contact. Knowing what the young master's mood meant, Taehyungff, preoccupied, ignored the dog and headed upstairs. He opened the bedroom door, surprised to find it dark. He flicked the light on. He was already asleep, curled up on the far corner of the bed. Taehyungff to himself, she's fallen asleep early tonight. Well, better for me. He quickly showered, changed, and instead of staying in the shared bedroom, he went to his private home office suite. The entire project now rested on his shoulders. He was too enraged at his father and too frustrated with his team to sleep. He was alone and he had to work through the night with to salvage his career. He woke up abruptly. The silence of the manor had been shattered by loud, furious shouting. He realized Taehyungff was already in the room, pacing and talking on the phone. His voice raised with venom. Taehyungff into the phone, pacing. I told you they are incompetent. They could not deliver a usable concept. Now I have to do all this work myself. No one is getting paid for months. There is no mercy in my dictionary. I warned them. Listened quietly. You could sense the deep well of frustration and pressure weighing him down. He realized by the sound of the light fluttering through the windows and the clock chiming that it was already 2 p.m. You had slept through half the day. You quickly got up, moving quietly. Taehyungff ignored you, too consumed by his work stress. After quickly refreshing yourself, you headed downstairs. Taehyungff was stuck. He could not focus. He was staring blankly at the sketches on his desk. When he walked over to the window for a distraction, his eyes fell upon the garden. There was you and Coco. He was kneeling by a flower bed. Coco was carefully using its nose to push a small, empty watering mug toward you, then nudging your hand, guiding you to the next thirsty plant. You loved a genuine pure sound that cut through the thick tension of the house. You gently stroked Coco's head as they played a game of watering the garden. He was mesmerized by the unguarded joy on your face. You smile like a sudden sunlight breaking through storm clouds. For a split second, the anger left him, replaced by instant curiosity. You can't see the flowers yet. You knows exactly where they need water. He quickly pulled away from the window, distancing himself. What are we doing? Staring at her. Focus, Taehyungff. Later, night had fallen. Taehyungff was in the bedroom, surrounded by paper, fabric swatches and design sketches. He was talking to himself, his frustration boiling over. Taehyungff muttering furiously. The soft pink, the compliments it. It needs depth. A theme, a symbolic thread, not just a color. My mind is blank. He entered the room. You could hear his footsteps, the rustle of papers, and the profound stress in his voice. You finally settled into your side of the bed. Taehyungff continuing his monologue. The theme, nothing is working. Pink is too delicate, too common. You could not hold back. Your knowledge of texture and your innate sight of color, born of your brightness, compelled you to speak, while your voice soft and tentative, a very faint pink and with a creamy off-white combination, like the natural colors of a pink tulip. Taehyungff froze instantly, dropping his pen. White, cotton and gently lost in your own vision. The tulip is a symbol of perfect love, and some pink varieties have really wide edges. That soft contrast gives it life. The design could be open at the back, like a blooming flower, the fabric starting high at the chest, the top part in the softest pink, flowing down on the pair of white at the hem. It should be constructed like a tulip or floating layers, beautiful structures but delicate and ethereal. Stared at you, utterly dumbfounded. Your suggestion, a theme built on the meaning and structure of the flower, not just its color, was exactly the unique, symbolic depth he was desperately searching for. How could she, a blind woman, have conjured such a detailed, compelling image? Yeah, short, masking his shock. I didn't ask for your opinion. Stay out of my world. You institutionally. I'm sorry. You quickly turned your back, pulling the cover up, your heart aching for the rejection. Taehyungff sat there for a long time, the silence broken only by his furious thoughts. He tries to dismiss your words, but the image of the pink tulip theme was vividly planted in his mind. A tulip, perfect love, layers. He felt a reluctant professional respect battling his ingrained arrogance. Your vision was genuinely inspiring. After a moment of internal war, he reached for a clean sheet of paper. Ignoring the sleeping woman just inches away and the shame of using your idea, Taehyungff began sketching furiously, his pen turning your squid words into a groundbreaking new design concept for the fashion show. The theme, unique and elegant, was born from the voice in the darkness.